So, you guys, we just watched episode 1 of Tokyo Revengers season 2. This is our unfiltered, uncut discussion about it. I have Ty here. What's going on, Ty?
What up? What up? What up?
So, we loved, of course, season 1. What I didn't anticipate is season 2 would just go right back into it, Ty. Like, to the point, like, I haven't seen the show in months. But all of a sudden it just came back to me. Like
Yeah.
everybody's name, the situation, and I think it's the execution of this episode. The episode literally pivots from the point that the gun was pointed at Takemichi's head, and Kizuki was like, so long, my hero. And it
Mhm.
goes from there, but you don't know, well, how is this going to continue? Well, they show you very quickly and very intensely because as far as we know, I think he was in prison for 12 years. But Kozutaro come back and he saves Takemichi. Now, Ty, what did you think about this first episode? Because I thought it was phenomenal. Like it made me immediately like want to dive right back into this craziness.
Yeah, I absolutely love that they did not waste any time when it came to the episode. I actually do like how they kind of threw us off because in the in the last episode of the last season, when he says, so long, my hero, you hear the gunshot go off,
Yeah.
and you think, okay, well, Takamichi's done because we
Yep.
already saw Chifuyu get shot.
Right.
So for the fact that it to be Kazutora that comes out of nowhere and saves him um after being in jail for so long, it's an excellent twist. But to also know that he came back to really help Chifuyu,
Mm-hmm.
um and just to see how the game is not really the game, but how this is all played out. Like Chifuyu wants to take the gang back to its roots, but he also knows he has to protect Takemichi because he knows Takemichi is still, he's still got that spirit, that kind spirit.
Right.
Um, and even with Naoto, using Kazutora to get to Takemichi, even in making it look like betrayal so that he can actually get to him to basically explain to him what has happened, and just having to live, he basically had to, what the part that I absolutely loved about this is he's watching himself, one, give the order to take out someone he doesn't know,
Right.
but he's watching himself trash his own place, realizing he ordered the strike on the person that he was originally trying to save. So
Yeah.
he's watching himself undo the one thing that he had done before. So he's literally got a fourth wall break of emotional damage. Like he's
Yep.
watching himself go through the emotional damage and having to watch it to catch up on what he's missed. He literally gets to the ground and goes through it all over again. Even though it's technically his first time, he's literally watching it and he was like, just send me to jail, man. Let's just
Right.
give up.
Right.
Like
Yeah. I'm
that
done. I'm done.
that was the key moment for me to be like, yo, he's literally watching himself order Hinata and then watch himself lose it over knowing that, finding out who the hit was ordered on, and then going through that whole emotional destruction again.
Yeah.
That the concept of that is what makes this show so good.
Yeah, it's
So good.
like there's an immediate weight that you feel for the character because even in that small little video, like he was having a conversation with Akun. Akun was like pleading with him, like, "Look, man, my wife is pregnant," and he was like, "Look, I don't care what you do. Like, I don't know who the person is. I need you to take care of this. Stop, stop being a girl." Then, not only knowing that, like he had Akun killed. Aku's got a family on the way, but he had him kill the person that he has been trying to save. And it's like up until this point, it's like it's been his friends, it's been certain scenarios. He's been able to save her, and in present day, she died. And it gets down to the wire where it's like now it's situations where he's being blackmailed into doing it himself. And it's so weird because when he's on that autopilot mode, he can't get himself out of certain situations either because he has nothing to speak towards. That's the crazier thing. He doesn't know what kind of brash decision he's made. All he can do is point himself in the past or the present into one direction. And it's not like he can pivot. And the crazier thing is we still don't know why Kizuki is doing what he's doing. But when
Yeah.
Naruto asked him this, he was like, look, man, seems like this dude is hip. Like he every single time he's been at the epicenter making sure this girl dies. And at the same exact time, he's been eyes zeroed in on making sure you die as well. Why?
I'm starting to think that one, he's aware of Takemichi's ability,
Yeah.
and I think he's deduced that in order for him to get to where he wants to be, Hinata has to go.
Right.
No matter what happens, in order for him to be where he is, the rank he
Mm-hmm.
is, wealthy as he is, and the gang to be where he wants it to be, she always has to die.
Right.
Like if she doesn't die, he doesn't get what he wants.
Whatever
So
that is. And it's weird
whatever that is.
because I don't know, because he still wanted Takamichi dead for a long period of time. And then it was like when he called Takamichi his hero, I think he was kind of like, oh, well, I can keep him around just as long as he's in this direction.
Right.
And
And but at the end of the day, he's technically still taking him out anyway, because I'm sure he thinks
right.
once they get him for having Hinata killed, he's probably thinking, well, she's gone. He's going to be buried under the jail. So now it leaves nothing but for me. Although that's what makes me think partly that he knows what Takemichi can do.
Yeah.
I just don't think he knows that it's something that has to be done with Naoto. Because if
Right.
that was the case, he would probably make sure
Oh, Naruto would have
that,
been dead a long time
right.
ago.
I think he has some form of knowledge of it, even if it's subconsciously, that the key to my success is Hinata and Takemichi gotta go. Because I
Yeah.
think if he had shot him then and there, that would have solidified the timeline,
Right.
you know. But now I think what's gonna happen is either he's got to take out Kisaki like permanently,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever happened that turned Mikey, you know, down the bad path.
Right. That's the other thing we ain't talked
He's
about.
got to bring Mikey back. And who knows? It's the possibility that in order for Mikey to come back to the original path of what he wants for the gang, Mikey might have to take out Kisaki. Takamichi might have to line it up where Mikey takes out Kisaki. And by taking him out, he might actually save Hina, save the gang, and set it on the right path that he wants. He gets to be in the gang. The gang gets to be successful based on what they originally did and expand, and he still gets to keep the girl and Mikey still around.
Yeah. Um, this is the other weird. So there's two different things that we just don't know, and I love that we don't know. We don't know what ultimately pivots Mikey down this path. All we know is that Mikey sent word to find out what happened to somebody. Who was it that turned up missing? Somebody turned up missing. I can't remember who the
Yeah,
girl was.
I'm trying to remember who
Was
it
it
is,
his
but
sister or was it somebody else? It may
well,
have
they
been the
said he
sister.
went he went to inquire about someone who was missing, and they said they hadn't seen him since.
Right. And then
So
present day, at this point, he's sitting there taking pieces off the board, killing folks with guns. And that's just not the Mikey that we know. Um, and then the other thing we don't know is why, even though Kisaki evidently knows about Takumi, even though he wants Hina dead and Takami dead, he also seems like he needs Takamichi. Like it seems like there's an emotional connection there. And I don't think it's just from that 12-year gap. I feel like that's always been the thing. We just don't know what that is. What's their connection?
We don't.
Like, could it be like they're brothers or something crazy like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, we really have
That's
no
what I
freaking
was
clue.
thinking. I'm wondering if they're brothers, actual brothers, biological brothers, and Takamichi doesn't know.
Right.
There's something else going on here with Kisaki and Takamichi, and it's actually Kisaki, Takamichi, and Mikey. And I feel like at the center of it all is Hina. That's
Yeah.
why I'm also worried that she is like an irreversible point. Like, like if you don't take her out, it may throw the whole universe, off its axis. Because no matter what he's tried to do, she always dies.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, when she dies, everybody else, other folks that come through survive and do well, but she's the one that always dies. So now
Right.
I'm wondering if by her living, if he gets it to where she actually survives and lives, if that means, destruction for everyone else.
Mm.
Not just Kisaki, but Mikey, Chifuyu, Kazutora. Like, does her life mean the end of them?
It's hard because that goes back to the conversation when Takamichi was having with Naruto when he's ready to quit. And like Naruto's like, look, bro, we were all off the board. I was dead. You almost were about to die. And Draken didn't exist. Everybody else didn't exist. Chifu didn't exist. But like they were all dead during present day time. The only person that was alive was Kizuki and Mikey. And at that
Right.
time, Mikey was converted. So it's like part of me feels like yes and no. Like something else is going on. And I love that I don't know. I love that I really can't predict exactly how this is going down. All I
Yeah.
know is that this joint, like the fact that they had what's his name? Kazutoro
Kazutora, yeah.
come back, beat the crap out of
Kisaki.
Takamichi, and all of a sudden
Oh, yeah.
explaining and making sense. Like this is the craziest person in the whole entire game, and he's making the most sense. Like
Yep.
that's great storytelling. We've seen this
Yep.
man like legitimately try to kill everybody.
Yep.
And now he's the person that's got himself together to be like, look, Takamichi, I need you to step up, bro.
Right. It's like 12 years in prison and he basically became sane versus going insane.
Yep.
It's crazy. But I think also what centered him was the fact that no matter what happened, the gang, Toman, was supposed to be this legitimate, positive gang that the
Right.
core of them was everybody's willing to risk their life for each other,
Right.
and you can build off that. But I believe that even though he said it was the money from them doing the drugs and prostitution and everything else that corrupted Mikey and turned him, I think it was more than that. I
Yeah.
think something key happened in the past that made Mikey turn. And I think something happened that caused Mikey to stop trusting the rest of the gang. That's why he started taking them out,
Yeah.
or he really truly got corrupted. And the original members of the gang were probably trying to get back to what it used to be.
Yeah.
And Kisaki didn't want that to happen. Neither did Mikey. So Mikey just started taking them out.
Yeah. I mean, this is the other thing, man. Like Mikey's already a whole pound as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine anybody going up against Mackie in the present day. Not at all. Like that's a scary sight, to be honest.
Honestly, I think the only one who even has who wouldn't definitely wouldn't beat him in a fight, but probably the only one who can go up against him to try to save him from himself
Takemichi.
is Takemichi.
Yeah, for sure.
Takamichi's the only one outside of who is it, Draken, that
Draken.
was
Yeah,
able to get under Mikey's skin and really be, a friend.
yeah,
So I think if anybody can go up against, I mean, don't get me wrong, Takamichi gonna take some L's. He gonna definitely whoop his behind. But I think in the midst of him, getting back up and fighting to save Takamichi,
yeah,
I mean to save Mikey, he's gonna eventually get him back
yeah,
um to where he needs to be.
yeah. Because the truth of the matter is, at any time, Mikey could have killed Takemichi, but he hasn't
Oh, without fail, yeah.
in any time frame. So, but oh, I was going to ask you, how did uh, Kazumoto get Takamichi out? Like, he had him at point blank range, and then all of a sudden, all this hustle and bustle happened. Like, how did he get him out? Like, it's weird how that went down. Like, I'm not saying that somebody's like lying, but it's just so convenient that we didn't see how he legitimately got him away from Kizuki
Well,
at point blank range.
if you recall in certain aspects of Tokyo Revengers, they always do something where they leave something out, but then they bring it back in
Yeah.
later. They did that with Hinata's car crash death.
Yep.
Um, they did it with someone else too. I think they did it when they had that big old brawl in that parking lot.
Right. And we thought Akun,
Yep.
not Akun, but Draken had died. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think my thought is they're following the same suit and they're going to reveal to us what happened in that moment later on.
Yeah. It'd be interesting if it's a double cross or even worse than that. Like, I don't know. Like,
I
this
mean,
joint is crazy to me.
it could be he could have just walked up on him. Kisaki was just like, welcome back, Kazutora, and he messed around and beat him up to get Takamichi out of there.
Right. Yeah, dude. I love the show, man. As a first episode, I don't have any negatives. It went in swinging. It gave me action. It gave me the emotional damage, more emotional damage than I anticipated. I can't wait for the next episode. That's it. I don't got nothing else. Any closing thoughts, Ty?
First episode was absolutely incredible. Nothing was held back. We basically picked right up where we left off, and I love that about certain shows. We didn't even get a recap. We just went right into it. But you
Right.
honestly, if you've been watching the first season, you don't really need a recap because the ending is so epic, and like you said, everything just starts coming back. And I do like how they identify folks to where they are now so you can catch up and remember who folks are. But 10 out of 10 first episode, ready for the next one, ready for the rest of this series. Great way to start it off.
Facts on facts. All right, you guys, we're gonna dip. We want to let you guys know that we did do a series review for The Last of Us. It is currently available right now on the channel. Go and check it out. But also, we are going to be doing a spoiler discussion for every single episode of The Last of Us. That is going to be on Ronin Unchanged channel called Bottles and Bricks. Definitely go and check that out. And we'll be back next week to give you guys another spoiler discussion on Tokyo Revengers. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button, go down to the description bar below. Follow us, y'all. We'll be back.
Out of here.
Peace.
Filing out the top of
I can see skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing.